welcome to Out of the Box Radio with me, your host, Christine Blasdale. Out of the Box Radio is a weekly podcast of audible ear candy dedicated to bringing a fresh perspective on this thing that we call life. And each and every week, we're going to be diving into the topics that matter most with lively conversations on issues such as health, wellness, and transformational healing, all with the goal of creating a better world and becoming a happier human being. I will be your tour guide for this epic adventure, and each and every week we're going to be embarking on a journey with the ultimate goal being transformation to our highest potential. And now, let's get out of the box. And welcome back to Out of the Box Radio. I am Christine Blasdale, and joining me on phone, on the road somewhere in the middle of America, is our wonderful Abigail Noel. She is medical intuitive, psychic, fantastic, all-around human being, and as we call her, the TWINHEART camp counselor. Abigail, welcome back to Out of the Box Radio. And where the heck are you right now, my dear?
Hey, Christine, how are you? I'm honored to be here. I'm super honored to be here. It's been a little while, so I'm excited. Let's see, where am I right now? I'm driving along Highway 5, about to connect to the 63, on the border of Iowa, just moving into Missouri, or Missouri, as I like to say, Missouri. So I'm just right on the border of Iowa on the 5, about to connect to the 63, and I am actually riding with a friend, Miss Chantal. And we've been on quite an excursion, her and some sisters of mine. It was just girls this time. Well, actually, it's not true. We had Luke and the boys show up, and Benny. So, no, there was some brethren there, and Bobby. So we had a really good time. But we took a pilgrimage. Started out in Minneapolis, and then I was asked ahead of time, so they did give me a little notice. But two of the other girls got no notice whatsoever. They thought they were going to Minneapolis and going home, and they ended up being sort of MIA for about 4 days and went on to North Dakota. Chantal actually agreed when she called and asked if I wanted to ride with her to Minneapolis. I said, well, sister, I've been asked to go to North Dakota to Standing Rock and to get the real story, since the news doesn't seem to want to tell us the real story of what's going on and how the Indians are being robbed once again. And so she said, I'm down for it. I mean, she was all in. And then we had one more person that went with us, a friend of ours, Maureen, who went with us to Standing Rock. And so we've been on this crazy pilgrimage that started out in Minneapolis, that was a pilgrimage to anchor justice for Prince Rogers Nelson, who did not overdose or die by his own accord or own hand. He was poisoned and dosed.
So for people who, because I know we have you on the phone, and you're driving in the middle of America. For those folks that maybe if they didn't get it, if they didn't understand it, you're now returning from your pilgrimage for Prince. You went to Minneapolis. Where exactly did you go to on the first part of your journey?
It was really fun, man, because Friday was our first day, and we went all over. We started at Paisley Park, where many of us met. Yep, and these are people from all over the country. So a group of us from all over the country met, and some at different times. Some people came in for a day or for the weekend, and some people had to leave a little earlier. And then 3 of us went on to North Dakota as we were guided by our team. We were actually asked by Prince Rogers Nelson to go on. I was asked before I left for Minneapolis, and then Chantal, as I said, she jumped on the bandwagon and really felt intuitively guided to go as well. We had a wonderful tour guide, Kristen. She's born and raised in Minneapolis. She had met Prince several times, was a friend, and had been to Paisley Park. And we celebrated for Prince. We cried a little, and we laughed. I got angry.
No.
I know. It's hard for probably most of our listeners, anyone who's heard me before, to believe that. I get indignantly and righteously angry she'd been working, and so I feel energy very well, and we all did. So we're very, just intuitive. We don't believe in psychics, guys. Everyone is psychic. I've been working with people and clearing subconscious reactive patterns, blocks, and past life energy for the last 8 years, and watching people turn psychic and hear their divine guidance. So everyone is psychic if you choose to trust and believe. And so a group of us who are very intuitive, psychic as the world defines it, we all met. We were led to go to Minneapolis to celebrate Prince. A crazy story. He led us to a bar called the 1029 bar. It's a karaoke bar.
The 1029?
Karaoke 6 nights a week. With that. And it's the 1029 bar, which is a big deal for me. I do not align to any religion. Neither does God, and neither did Yeshua. But with that said, 1029 is Isaiah. There's some good stuff in that book. And 1029 is Isaiah 1029, which means, and this is the era, this is what we are into right now, as the Bible calls Revelation, and we walked into the double bubble, the eighth ray energy, which has been anchored, and this is the era of truth, love, unconditional, place of non-judgment. And 1029 represents Isaiah 1029, which says that the sycamore will be replaced with cedar, and the brick with stone. And that means that we're, coming into that. And so it was really kind of funny that, when I tell you, we were so led to this bar, when I saw 1029 bar, I was like, okay. Funny thing is, even our tour guide, he was born and raised, was like, it's kind of a seedy part of town, I've never been there. Okay, we'll go. And when we were driving there, and I have a little joke that my guides have told me for a long time about buses. How God, never sends one opportunity. There's always another bus. And then Father God said to me, "But sweetheart, please tell the people that after the fourth bus, we send the short bus to pick you up." And so that's kind of a joke amongst us. And no joke, Christine. Everywhere that we went, because it was basically a tour guide by Prince, guided by Prince. And he even sent us on a shopping trip to a place called Go Home, which is now this cool store that used to be his retail location. And so everywhere we went had a little touch of Prince. It was historically somewhere he had lived or somewhere he'd been. And we felt him walking with us everywhere we went, and we were all guided to these magical experiences. But when we were going to the 1029 bar, which I knew, and everyone got full chills, full validation, this is where we're supposed to go. And we found out later why, which was incredibly interesting. We met one of his friends there. We had no idea that this man who had played with him and really was a good friend of him was going to be here at this bar, but he was that night, and we got to deliver a message to this man from Prince. Wow. And he was crying, and it was beautiful. And so the funny story, and then I'll stop there with this, is that everywhere we went, from the very first place we met on Saturday morning, which was Paisley Park, everywhere we drove in, there was a short bus of some kind following us. So when we got to Paisley Park, there's what's called the Small World Learning Center. It's a preschool, and there was a short bus parked right in front of us. And ever since that day when we laughed about it, everywhere we went, there was a short bus following us.
There was a short bus following you everywhere you went.
So, we pop out, and so all these people pop out of this little SUV, like a clown car, at the 1029 bar. So the funniest part is on our way, we were almost there, a few blocks away, but we were a few miles away. I looked at Kristen, I said, this is just all wrong. We need to have a short bus back there. And she goes, you know what? You're right. She goes, but you know what? I don't want a regular short bus. She goes, it needs to be a purple short bus. And I kid you not, Christine, we had 7 freaking people in that car that all witnessed this. Not 30 to 40 seconds later, there was a purple short bus behind us.
Get out of here.
We were bawling. It's like, everyone's like, oh my God. And it took off. It took this sharp right. And so I'm like yelling, not yelling at her, but like, I was just so excited. Poor Chantal's driving, and I was like, Chantal, turn right. She's like, what do you mean? Because she's trying to follow the mapping program. I'm like, I don't care. Just turn right. Like,
follow that short purple bus.
And so poor Chantal was driving us. Our tour guide was in the back hatch, and we're like screaming at her. Everyone's like, follow that bus, beating the windows, hysterical like kids. And we followed that bus. She was badass. She pulled that right. We caught that bus 1 block over, We had no idea where we were going. We just knew we were supposed to follow that purple bus and get pictures. And it dropped us off right at the 1029 bar, no joke.
Wow. What? It dropped you off right in front of the 1029 bar?
We followed it, and all we had to do was look over, and there was this huge light that said 1029 bar. We literally made one right and pulled right up in character right there in front of the door.
Wow.
The bus literally led us right to the 1029 bar. We've never been there before.
Wow.
And it was a purple short bus with purple lights inside.
Now,
in Minneapolis.
Now, Abigail, I wanted to ask you I wanted to find out from you if you were able to go. First of all, explain to the listeners, if they're not familiar, who the Roberts are, and if you got to visit their establishment, because I understand that they have a I understand they have a restaurant there. But please explain to the listeners who are just joining us, let's say, who the Roberts are.
Sure. The Roberts are, and for anyone listening, please go back and listen to the original Out of the Box radio on Trent with Christine. And Christine was present as a grounding energy, a grounding heart for me, along with another dear friend, when I was in what they call the plunge for 72 hours. Trent and Alba and my team, Yeshua and everyone else, was grounding. I feel like I need to mention the girls, Mother Mary and Mary Magdalene. They were grounding. They were talking to me. They were grounding energy, and mostly Prince and Alba speaking to me about what happened to Prince and who's involved. And so you were one of the people who grounded that energy first. Mm-hmm. And then Out of the Box did the story. So please go and listen. But just as an absolute clear objective, I didn't even know Prince had crossed when he came to me. I was like, wow, you're dead? Are you okay? Why are you here?
Right. Why are you here? Why are you talking to me, Prince?
I was like, with that said, one of the very first things, so the energy, the emotion, and the basic procedures are the same. And that is, you want to ask that person right away, do they have passage to the fifth dimension, and are you okay? And then, what happened to you? What happened to you? And, oh, man, I mean, you were there. It was there, and you were getting, I don't know, but I mean,
yeah.
But I remember you had food, and I was like, oh, my God, Christine, he was murdered, and he was poisoned. He didn't want to eat his food that night. It was these chefs, and I didn't even know he had personal chefs. I said, it's the people. And that's why when, they want to keep claiming their innocence, I'm sorry, but I know they're guilty. I know they're guilty. Why? Because I didn't even know they existed. I don't even know who they are. I didn't even know he had personal chefs that cooked for him on a regular basis. It was my understanding that he liked to be left the fuck alone. He liked to be left alone.
Yeah. Yeah.
He liked it a long time, so I wouldn't even imagine that he'd have somebody there cooking for him all the time.
No, but you got that original. You got it that original day that it was something that you had gotten something about the lemonade or with the pineapple juice, and
yes.
You were spot on. I'm getting full chills now. You were spot on that.
Oh yeah.
But so the personal chefs are the Roberts, and it's, what is it, Jules Robert?
Robert.
And what's the other?
All right. This is funny because in my run-in with her in Minneapolis this weekend, because Prince told us to go to their restaurant, the People's Organic.
The People's Organic.
Like
that's the restaurant
in the Minneapolis area. People's Organic.
Mm-hmm.
We went to the one in Calhoun Square, which is a place that Prince liked to go to. It's also across the street from a store called Go Home, which is the location that Prince's retail store used to be at, which is where that very famous theater is in the corner. And he told us to go, no joke, everyone got validation on this, you'll feel it, I'm being told already. He told us to go in and have a round of drinks on him.
To have a drink on him, on Prince?
Yes, we would have a round of drinks, whatever beverage we wanted to have. Wine, cappuccino, fruit juice. We were told to ask them if they had pineapple juice. and some lemons. We did.
Wait, you were told to ask for pineapple juice and lemons, yes. Really, from Prince? You were?
We did.
Did you do that? Did you?
Yes, we really did that.
Oh.
What we did is this. What happened was, on the original read, what was told to me is that
message CR52. Welcome to iWireless. The customer you have dialed is not available or has traveled outside the coverage area.
Bastards.
Please try your call again later.
All right.
Message CR52. Welcome to iWireless.
Yeah,
The
gotcha.
customer you have dialed is not available or has traveled outside the coverage area.
Fine.
Please try your call again later.
We're going to call you back. I love technology. Okay, we're good. So you went to their restaurant and ordered pineapple juice with lemon?
Yes. And the reason was because when, for instance, you were there that first time, the first time that he channeled through, which was just that day and a half after he had crossed, after the world knew that he had died, he told me that because of a doctor's appointment earlier that day, and that during that appointment, that the doctor that he saw, who now is missing, so no one knows where he is.
The doctor is missing?
Wait,
Prince's doctor is missing?
Yes.
Wow.
The doctor that he saw that day in Minneapolis, that he literally has disappeared. They know for sure that he's left state, but there's no verification as to whether he's alive.
Go ahead. Are you cut off? Are you? Can you hear me?
Message CR52. Welcome to iWireless.
I know.
The customer you have dialed is not available or has traveled outside the coverage area.
Because she's on the road.
Please try your call again later.
We will.
Message CR52.
Yeah.
Welcome to iWireless.
Goodbye.
The customer...
We're going to try and patch back into her. I swear to God, we're going to get Abigail. She's on the road coming back from the Prince pilgrimage and also from Standing Rock. She was there in North Dakota with the water protectors. And we're going to be getting a call back from her any minute now, and going to talk about not only the Prince pilgrimage, her going to the Roberts restaurant and what happened there, all of the signs and symbols and things along the way, but then also the calling that she got to go to Standing Rock, to drive all the way to North Dakota from Minnesota, and what happened there. She's going to give you information from what happened on the ground, which is something that media news outlets are not telling you. Also, we're going to get a little update if we have the time. We're also going to get a little update on TWINHEARTs, Twinflames, those lovely, wonderful souls that are here to help anchor love on the planet, and how they're doing, and maybe some tips and tricks and things to get us through some bumpy roads right now. But we're going to try and get her back on the line, and I'm going to try and do that now, and then we'll kind of come right back. Okay.
Where we were left, and Prince said he didn't eat his food. He had juice made that night, and that was validated by the Associated Press's interview with Ray Roberts.
He had a juice that night. That Ray Roberts prepared the juice for him. Correct?
That was the only reason that he drank it. Is it was made from fresh pineapple, distilled water, and lemon juice. It was sweet.
Fresh pineapple, distilled water, and lemon juice.
Fresh pineapple. Yes, and it was left in the glass pitcher in the refrigerator. He watched Ray Roberts make it. Ray Roberts had told him that his dinner was in the refrigerator. Prince told me that he already suspected that they were poisoning him because he had gotten blood work done thinking that possibly he might have Lyme's disease.
Oh, Lyme's,
he couldn't figure out
right.
what was wrong with him. He already knew that he was marked by the Illuminati. He already knew this.
He knew he was in trouble with the Illuminati? From what?
He knew, yes. He was on the sacrifice list. He knew this.
Wow.
You do not speak out against them once you get caught in a contract. Once you're in their web, you do not, you do not speak out against them the way that he did. That's why, and you were there that night when he channeled right after his death, right after his crossing, and he told me, going back to that, Prince on our first night had said that because his doctor had said that it was not Lyme disease, that it looked like heavy metal toxicity, which would you'd only get this amount with the poisoning. Prince had been feeling ill for about a year and a half, he told me, about 18 months.
Wow.
That's exactly it. They had been poisoning him in his food, arsenic, in his food for approximately almost 2 years, just shy of 2 years. It was 18 months in that he recognized that there were symptoms. This is also why he had to have the hips. arsenic is very hard on the bones. Makes them very porous.
Is that why he became? That's why he was so thin, and people were worried about his health.
Yes, yes, and yet it makes you have digestive issues, trouble eating. It's tough on the bones. That's why his teeth were out. He needed the surgery on his hip too. He had prior injuries, but arsenic is known to be very disruptive to the digestive system as well as the bones, the bony structure. And so those were two issues that Prince was having. That's all been validated. He just come from the doctor that day, and Ray Roberts was still very tough. This has all been validated because Ray Roberts was dumb enough to tell him that's all it was validated. So they interviewed Ray Roberts and asked him if Prince needed a cure, and he said no. He didn't need a cure that night. In fact, he was so dumb. And he said when he showed up the next morning about 10 a.m., first of all, why did he need to come check on Prince at 10 a.m.? They had just seen him the night before.
Right.
And then he said that when he found out that Prince was dead, his friend, he said, and his boss, that the first thing he did apparently was check the refrigerator to see if he ate his dinner. It says that in the report.
So your close friend and your boss and somebody named Prince dies, and the first thing you do is you run to the refrigerator to see if he ate your food, right? Wow. Just for listeners who are just tuning in, Abigail Noel is on the road. She's coming back from a very long trip, a pilgrimage for Prince, then was sent to North Dakota with the water protectors in North Dakota at Standing Rock. And we're also going to, if we can, we're going to see if we can get a little update for TWINHEART, Twinflames. But so you went to the restaurant. Were you able to meet with any of the Roberts, with Jules or Ray?
Well, actually, no, they were not there. They were not there. We went into their restaurant. What was kind of funny is there was nobody seated when we were there, which lends itself to what I was very first reading when I asked for motive. Several things. Number one, they said they were jealous of Prince. His power and his money, his position and his fame. And I was also told that they were having financial difficulties. It's also really revealed the first time I spoke to Prince and channeled him, but it was revealed to me since then, and I've had really, really stout validation on this. But many, many people have stated, and it seems to be a well-known fact, that Joel and Ray Roberts worked for the Queen. It is my understanding, my intuitive understanding, my psychic understanding that is absolutely accurate.
They worked for the Queen? You mean
what the Illuminati calls plants.
The Queen. Oh, that they worked for the royal pain in the butt, Queen of England. Yes.
The Queen of England is England is the foundation for the Illuminati. I mean, that's where they got their start, and they sent their plants over a long time ago to America. Those families are still running things over here today under the Queen's rule. Joel and Ray Roberts work for the Queen. They are what the Illuminati calls plants. And my understanding is for their participation in Prince's death, they received what is called a golden parachute, $50 million.
What?
That is what, $50 million.
Is that what was channeled to you from Prince or from some other source?
That is what was channeled to me by my team while I was in Minneapolis.
$50 million.
50 million bucks.
All you got to do is poison.
Go ahead.
All you got to do is poison your close friends, quote unquote, your boss, and probably one of the most talented musicians, singers, songwriters in the world, loved by many, and you get $50 million.
Correct. Well, and not only that though, but you're a contracted basically employee of theirs. They were already. But now it's almost like you move a bump up. I mean, this is literally a mob organization. So now it is my understanding that the Queen of England will go home before the first of the year. She's going to cross as well, thank God. So her reign of terror is almost over, as well as Hillary.
Well, I'm sure they have a backup plan. I'm sure that they have something prepared to continue the reign of terror that has been, right?
Oh, absolutely, but it will not be as well grounded, is what I'm being told to tell you. It will not be as well rooted.
Okay. Now, so
as these old bags. That's what I'm being told to tell you, these old bags.
So tell us,
for God's sake, Hillary's 70-something, and it's not about the age, it's also about the mentality, where they came from, the privileged mindset. You've got to get out of this privileged university mindset. These schools are poisoned.
Yeah. So when did you get the word about going to Standing Rock, to North Dakota?
We finished it. I got the word to go actually a couple weeks before, maybe about a week and a half before I left for Minneapolis. Prince Rogers Nelson came to me. He's on my team. I work with him, in fact, right now a lot. He asked me to go to Standing Rock, and kind of the funny thing is they're always pretty funny with me, but it's also about truth, just speaking the truth and letting people either understand or not. That's not really my concern with love. It's just to speak the truth. And so I was asked to make sure that everywhere we went, they knew that Prince Rogers Nelson sent us. I spoke to one of the tribal elders at the main camp in North Dakota at Standing Rock. He said to me, because I said to him, I said, and we had more dialogue in this, but I said, I need to tell you that Prince sent me. And he looked at me and he goes, the rock star? It was so funny. And I said, yes, sir, the rock star. So it was kind of a funny little exchange. But what was funny is the Indian culture, even though he was, about 70-some years old and a veteran, so here he is a veteran for the United States of America. The same country that has continued lying to his people over and over and over again. And there was just, so many people that were proud. The Indians are very proud culture. And also, it's almost like it's not a religion. Their spiritual nature is just so instilled in them, and their beliefs and their love for the earth.
Well, that's why they had to be white. Remember, that's why they had to be taken out early on in this country's history. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, they've been lying to, and it was beautiful too, because we were also told to honor Sitting Bull. Now, this was the beautiful message. And so what I'm very clear on, I just got chills as I'm speaking. With that said, when I was going to Standing Rock, I said, what am I going to deliver? Is this good news, Dad, or is this bad news? Is this good news, Mom, that we're delivering? Is this bad news, Mama? What is this? And they told me I was going to deliver the good news with two of my sisters. They sent us out in a triad, three of us. All three of us were receiving the same information at different times in different ways. And we were told to look for the buffalo, that there'd be something amazing with the buffalo. We were told to tell people that there would be stars shooting across the sky at the sacred grounds. And I know we're going to find out that happened. I was told it would look like the 4th of July, that there would be so many shooting stars that will be witnessed. And I was also told that a rainbow will appear soon. I was also told that the people, he would not allow the people that are there at the camps, because there's 2 camps now. There are now people camping in the side of the road on the ditch by the sacred grounds. They have to, because the bulldozers have already gone through and started tearing up the ground. It's terrible. When you see it, it's like, why? It's senseless. And with that said, we were asked, because I said, why is this going on? They said, well, the Indians, the tribes here, the Lakota, believe that this is a burial ground. It's a sacred burial ground. We all received full chills in that moment. Those spirits rose up and let us know they were there. And I saw Sitting Bull sitting right there with them. And he told me that his energy would not move from those burial grounds. I was told by Father God, by Abba, by Father Sky, as the Indians, the Lakota and Dakota call him, that reparation would be made for what happened to Sitting Bull. They shot him for no reason. A peaceful man who was doing nothing but worshiping Father Sky and Mother Earth. They had given the Indians a treaty that we have been taking back what we promised them since 1840. And we have lied to them and lied to them. You know, the moment we gave them that land, we gave them back that land fair and square. There are binding legal contracts with the United States of America to the Lakota and Dakota people, to the Sioux Nation. They have been breaking them since 1840. And this government has no right to put that pipe through there. That is their land. They took the Black Hills back first. It's been going on and on and on. And not only that, Christine, Sitting Bull was dancing in a peaceful ceremony with his own people when they came to arrest him. They didn't arrest him. When he told them they could wait, they shot him. They shot him. And I was told by everyone in heaven, by Mother Earth and Father Sky, that they would make sure that reparation was made for his sacrifice, for the Trail of Tears, and for the bloodshed of every Native American in this country. And that every lie that's been told to them, reparation will be made. And that this pipeline will not go under that river or any other river. And that every human being, he said, every church, every child on this country, on this planet, need to stand up and take notice of these people and their bravery. And everyone needs to do the same thing. And if your heart is called, you need to go take a stand and go stand with these people. Or come with me in November when they're really going to need it, and start rallying for supplies now. Like, seriously, meet me there.
And if folks want to find out information about the upcoming pilgrimage back to North Dakota, Standing Rock, you can go to abigailnoel.com, or you can also check out Abigail on Facebook. Just do Abigail Noel. It's Abigail, and then her last name is Noel, Noel. Okay, so back to Standing Rock. So you were there. Now, I saw a few reports coming out once they were able to get away from that area because they were being encircled, and they said they had men with weapons drawn and on them. Did you see any of that, or what did you see as far as any kind of confrontations between the police or whoever these people were? I don't know who they were.
Well, we arrived, I think it was on Saturday, or it may have been on Friday. It was right after the last standoff, the last altercation occurred, and many people were arrested. Tear gas was used, pepper spray was used, guns were put in people's faces, dogs have been used, people were hurt, people were thrown down, and here's the crazy thing. That we got there right after that happened. We waited several hours for the tribal members and other people who were not arrested but who went to testify against the brutality that's going on out there. And I mean, I'm serious, it's brutal. And when I say this, it's because we interviewed several people, and we will have those interviews public and on YouTube very soon. The crazy part is you couldn't get any service in that area. Even at the casino, they shut us off. And it was so obvious that they are shutting off reception in that area. We had to do everything by video. We couldn't do anything live. As soon as we got up on it, there's a barricade, literally a barricade with those cement barricades in the road, down to one lane. You can't get in or out of Standing Rock without going through a military barricade with no less than 10 soldiers fully armed at a time.
Wow.
What was wild is when we drove in, and I love it because I love how God works. He sent the three of us that looked unassuming. Like, he sent the two of the most straight girls. Like, I call them one of them Miss Funful Fancy. And we weren't in my little hippie mobile, with all my stickers on the back of it. Because they're looking for people who are going to support this. And they're going to target those people. And they're going to search your freaking car with no reason if they feel like it. And they're going to run your plates and your life and your history if they feel like it. If you just look wrong. And I'm telling you, we've got an issue with law enforcement. They're getting more and more aggressive.
More militarized.
More and more aggressive. And they are stepping more and more outside our 10 Amendment rights. We've got to wake up, people, right now. And so when they looked at us and we looked like we were driving in to sell, like, Mary Kay and, like, chefware or some shit, everybody acted like we had no idea why we're driving through. I swear to God, we looked like tourists. There's a military barricade just because these people want their rights to their land, rights that have been promised to them. Christine, do you realize, like, that no one would do this to Donald Trump? You see what I'm saying? Just take over one of his properties and say, we're just going to run a pipe under your fucking casino, Donald. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
There is no way they would get away with this shit. Are you kidding me? They've been taking advantage of everyone and anyone, but especially the people that are underprivileged who happen to be the brown and the black people on this planet. Enough is enough. Enough is enough, and we've got to all stand united and get away from the propaganda that is put there to divide us. It's not real. It's not really how we feel. And the beautiful thing about Standing Rock is I've never seen so many people of so many colors and so many positions in their life. Yes, there's some homeless people out there. So what? There's some street kids. There's also some teachers, some healers, acupuncturists, educators, teachers that have given up everything. And we got interviews from the people who were there. We got interviews from a man who was pepper sprayed. We got interviews from people who were bit by dogs. We have interviews. We have interviews with people that were right there, but we couldn't do anything live. It was incredible.
And you're going to go back in November. So between now and November, if folks want to help you out and get for supplies and things, they can go to abigailnoel.com. She'll have all that information up. Also, I want to encourage people to go to Facebook, because you will have on Facebook, or you can search on YouTube for Abigail Noel, the some of the different videos that she was able to record there at Standing Rock, along with the pilgrimage to the Prince pilgrimage as well. Sort of all your travels, you have those there on YouTube as well. So I encourage people to go to that. Now, because we don't have a whole lot of time left, Abby, but I wanted just to touch base with you about, my goodness, because there's so much stuff going on. And of course, as there's so much stuff going on in the world, and we see what's happening at Standing Rock and everything in the world and the elections and everything, our little twin hearts, twin flames, soul lovers. No, and I just wanted to know if you had anything channeled in particular for twin hearts, twin flames that are also sort of facing their own, well, I'm not going to say an adventure, but their own sort of tough times right now. Tough times right now, but anything that you're getting for twin hearts or twin flames?
Wow, well, most of the twin hearts, except for the final convergence. Now, when they say that after this convergence, there will be more of them coming together in the future, but no one's going to work as hard after this final convergence. That's the good news. The good news is that the seventh ray energy is complete, and the eighth ray energy has been anchored literally by the willing sacrifice and the death of Prince Rogers Nelson, and also others. And the bravery of the people. So the world is awakening, and so what that means is that, and much of that was the convergence of the twin hearts that are still coming together between now and January's time. Most everybody will be understanding more about their sacred partners, who that is, and what they're here to do by Christmas time this year. Yeah, and definitely by January.
I'm getting, this is my take on it, and this is just my interpretation of it, is that right now everybody is going through sort of through their own solo journey. Everyone's going through their own solo journey, sort of the dark night of the soul. But it's a sloughing off of all of the it's purging. It's like a detox. I feel like we're all detoxing, because in order for us to even make that connection, that real heart to heart connection with our twin heart, twin flame, soulmate, we need to clear a lot of caca.
Yes, and what's beautiful is because this is the last about 2 generations, 2.5 generations, and we go to 9. The H-ray energy, 9 is the finish line. With that said, it's what we use right now is called the spleen, but sacrifices that were not, that individuals were not karmically responsible had to be taken on and experienced for the H-ray energy to be anchored. That has now successfully been done, and so we are literally releasing this spleen chakra energy, which is the energy of sacrifice. The color is burgundy. We are honoring Mary Magdalene, the truth of Christ Yeshua. We are about to watch the soul of the church as we know it. We are about to watch the rise of psychic nature. We are about to watch divine connection to God.
We're about to watch the divine connection to God, right? And so the souls that have taken on the sacrifice, this whatever it is in their lives, is that for the whole of humanity? Is that for the whole of the planet, or for?
Okay.
So
Yes.
so just repeat just repeat the sacrifice that's made. This is for all of humanity, all of current reality, human beings, or the planet?
Yes, the sacrifice of anyone. But again, when we talk about the sacrifice, this is about sacrifice that was taken on by individual souls, individual hearts on the planet, sacrifice that they were not karmically responsible for. So that means that many of us agreed to clean up after our brothers and sisters that are not ready, willing, or able to do so right now. And to the best of our ability, we had to do that without getting pissy at our sisters and brothers for the fact that we had to clean up some messes they weren't able to. What happened meant that there was such a big mess that we knew that was the way it was going to have to work, that many of us that could handle it, and there's no judgment there. It's just the older you are, the larger your light body, and the more suffering you can take on, challenge that I bring. The Eastern philosophies will oftentimes be presented in a way where they'll say suffering is not necessary. And in a way, both things are true, but science supports the theory that we will only experience as much joy as we have experienced pain. And everything is math. Science is God's. And so it's simply, the truth simply is that there were many ascendants, people who were already ascended at the time of Atlantis, whose light bodies, we were old enough souls, our light bodies were large enough to carry karma for our brothers and sisters who are not able to clean up all of their messes right now. I hope that makes sense. There's no judgment one way or the other. It's just that some of us had to clean up a few more messes for some of us that weren't able to at this time.
Gotcha.
To get this done.
You know what?
And we have successfully completed that task. That's the good freaking news.
The good news is it's done.
No one coming behind us will have to work so hard to get to the same place anymore. Isn't that great?
So we're clearing through it. So we still may have remnants of that ickiness or trouble, suffering. There may still be remnants of that, but we've gone through the worst, is what you're saying.
For those of us who have done, and I have no judgment, but for those of us who've done the emotional work, it'll be sadness with honor, and fear will become a challenge, and any anger will be indignant and righteous, and our communication with God will get clearer and clearer and clearer, which means we will just literally flow at more of a place of peace. Every day it will just become more and more peaceful from here on out. That's what it means. Will we face challenges? Yes. Do we still have classes to go through? Surely. It's why we're here. But everything will become easy, even the toughest things. And for the most part, we've got about 5 to 6 more years of some sacrifice and some kind of painful classes for some of us, some of our brethren and sister, maybe for ourselves. But for the most part, the days of sacrifice are done. We've moved into what they call the double bubble. That's the 8-8 love reign. anchored by Prince Rogers Nelson on the Omega side. On the Alpha side, we've got Christ Yeshua. So there's your beginning and your end of this. And I love this because it was 2,200 years ago that Christ Yeshua walked the planet. 22. 22 is the number in sacred geometry that represents building a solid foundation in love. God, love, and truth. They're one and the same.
God, love, and truth. Well, Abby, I know it's been a kind of a crazy show today and a crazy conversation because I know you're on the road, and I want to thank you. I want to thank you so much for talking to us today on your way back from both the Prince Pilgrimage and also your stand at Standing Rock with the water protectors there in North Dakota. So thank you so very much. And when you get settled in, let's have you back on Out of the Box Radio, okay? And and so if people want to find out more information about Abigail, they can go to abigailnoel.com. Also go on Facebook and check out her reports. They did live video from all of the different locations. And also, if you want to get a session with Abigail, I highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. She's spot on, and you can access her information also at abigailnoel.com or just inbox her at Facebook, right?
And this is important too for Out of the Box listeners. On my front page, on my website, there's a special offer just for Out of the Box listeners. When you go to schedule a session, you will schedule your own time. There's a place for notes. Please note that you are an out-of-the-box listener, and please let me know that on our session as well so that I can keep an easy and accurate account of that.
Oh, that's great.
So I know where everybody's coming from.
That's great. So, okay, so for those who didn't, if you didn't hear that fully, if you do schedule a session, you can actually schedule your own time. Go to abigailnoel.com, schedule your own time with a session with Abigail. And in the notes section, so she knows, and she's got a special deal for you as well. Just put in that you heard about Abigail from Out of the Box Radio, and she'll hook you up real good. Real good.
Yes.
All right, lovely. I'm so glad that you're safe. I'm glad that you're on your way home. And I just want to thank you again so much for all the work. You walk the walk and you talk the talk, my dear. You're out there.
Oh, man. Well, hey, namaste, sister. So do you. And thank you. Christine, it was an honor being on the show tonight. I love being on Out of the Box. It's my favorite show. I love it.
Thank you, my dear. Thank you so much. And we'll talk to you again soon, all right? Drive safe.
Love you, sister. See you soon. Thank you.
Okay, babe. Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
And once again, that was Abigail Noel. I'm so sorry for the phone connection, but we did want to catch her as soon as she was coming back from Standing Rock and, of course, the Prince Pilgrimage. Go check out her website. Again, it's abigailnoel.com. And if you want to schedule a session with her, there's a little box there. You can schedule your own time with her for a reading. She's a medical intuitive as well as psychic, and you can schedule your time with her. But just make sure you put in the notes section that you heard about her and you're scheduling this appointment with her from Out of the Box Radio. That way she can also give you a super good deal, and she'll know that you heard about her from this program. Don't forget to tune in next week for another episode of Out of the Box Radio. And as I always like to remind you, always, always, remember to think outside of the box. Until next time, I'm Christine Blasdale. Bye for now. Hello, everyone. I'm Christine Blasdale, and I'm here to talk to you about something absolutely vitally important to you and your family's health. I'm guessing that if you're listening to this, you are someone who consumes water. You have to. Everyone does. It is one of the most important resources that we have. Yet most people do not even realize the water that they're drinking has many contaminants in it. I'm really happy to have with me Dr. Roy Spicer. Dr. Roy Spicer is the Vice President of CWR Environmental. And we're going to talk right now about some of those contaminants that are found in the water and what you can do about it. Dr. Roy Spicer, welcome to the program.
It's a pleasure to be with you, Christine.
Now, I had mentioned that there should be concern if people are not concerned about the contaminants in the water that we drink. Can you talk about just a few of them? I understand that there are heavy metals, some bacteria, but there's also some other very alarming things that are in our water, correct?
Yes, there is, Christine. Flint, Michigan is just the tip of the iceberg. It's brought to attention the fact that water quality in the United States is not what it should be. Americans are blindly trusting the government to deliver reasonably safe drinking water. But the situation in Flint just pulled the plug on public trust. The fact is that many main pipes in the United States are relics. They're over 100 years old. Some of them are made of pure lead. Some of them are made of concrete or iron. But they're eroding, and as they erode or disintegrate, these residual toxins are leaching into the water that we drink, that we cook with and bathe in. So lead is just one of the particular culprits. Typically, water has many different contaminants, a lot of chemicals such as chlorine. A lot of municipalities are now switching over to chloramine, which is a combination of chlorine and ammonia, which is even more harmful than chlorine.
Now, one of the substances that have been added to the water is fluoride. Can you tell our listeners a little bit about what fluoride does?
The story goes back to the late 1930s and 1940s with the aluminum industry and other industries that had toxic waste, and they were trying to find a use for it. The government promoted the use of fluoride, and the dental industry picked up on this. They convinced a number of people, scientists, that this was a positive substance that will prevent dental decay. And over the years, there's been hundreds of studies that show that, in fact, not only does it doesn't restrict dental decay, it actually promotes bone loss in older people, so it aggravates osteoporosis. And more recently, they've done meta-studies at the Harvard University, and they found that fluoride has been implicated in dementia and possibly Alzheimer's. So if you look at studies on the Fluoride Action Network, there's hundreds of them. Almost every organ system in the body has a negative impact. Fluoride has a negative impact on every organ system in the body.
Now, you had mentioned that a lot of the pipes that the water travels through going to our homes, a lot of them are antiquated and many of them are made of lead. Do you have any information about what lead does to us?
Well, lead is a known neurotoxin. It's damaging to the nervous system, to the brain. And if you start ingesting water over a period of years that contains lead as well as other heavy metals, they accumulate in your body and they reach toxic levels, and you can manifest a number of disorders. Literally, IQ is affected. It's lowered by ingesting lead over a long period of time. It could have cardiac damage. So lead is a pervasive toxin. It inhibits fertility. Lead is a pervasive metal that's found in almost every water system in the United States. It's usually below 15 parts per billion. In fact, Flint, the lead levels are at 30,000 parts per billion, which is, I've never seen anything like that level anywhere in the United States. So most of the time we see lead levels below 5, but it's in the water. It's a cumulative type of heavy metal. It will build up in your body, and over time it bioaccumulates and has a toxic effect, as well as many other heavy metals like barium is very common in water, copper, I see cadmium, mercury, commonly chromium-6. These are all heavy metals. Even uranium I'm seeing more of that, as well as lithium and strontium. So if you look at all the water reports around the United States, and I look at water reports every day, numerous water reports, I see these heavy metals are very commonly found in drinking water.
Now, this is why this is one of the most important issues, I think, that needs to be front page news, but is not. But we have some good news today because we're going to be talking about Gary Noel's all-in-one ultra water filter. Now, Dr. Spicer, you reviewed the test data on this special water filter. In your professional opinion, is this the best water filter available?
Yes, it is, and I'll give you the reasons. After reviewing several laboratory tests, most notably, it removed fluorosilicic acid. This is the most toxic form of fluoride that's added in drinking water. And the test results, they tested it on Chicago City water, along with, this is raw water, which contains many contaminants. And the filter reduced the fluoride in the water, which was at 0.8 parts per billion. That's the level the government recommends, which is not safe, but it recommends. And one filter removed 85% of the fluoride at that level. Now, that's remarkable because the older types of filters, which use activated alumina or bone char, cannot remove fluoride at that level. So this is a new breakthrough in the filter industry. That's just one of the contaminants that the filter removes. But in addition, they tested it also for lead because, again, lead's a common problem in all water systems. And the filter was tested at a challenge level of 150 parts per billion. Now, as I mentioned to you, 15 parts per billion is the action level. They tested the filter at 10 times higher than the actionable level for lead. And the filter achieved 99% reduction of lead up to 1,000 gallons of water.
Wow.
That's 1,000 gallons of water, 99% reduction of high levels of lead. So if you just look at those three test results, chloramine, lead, and fluoride, you have one filter that can remove more contaminants than any other filter on the market. That's why it's the best filter I've ever reviewed.
And the best news about Gary Noel's all-in-one ultra water filter is that he is today offering a very, very special price for Progressive Radio listeners. Now, this is Gary Noel's all-in-one ultra water filter, normally retails for $279. And this one-time very special price for $199. Now, $199 includes free shipping and something which I think is vitally important. There's going to be a free add-on. It's a sports bottle. Now, it's not just any sports bottle, but a very special, unique sports bottle. Is that correct, Dr. Spicer?
Yes, Christine. This is a filter that can take out, again, a wide range of contaminants. You can use this on the go. You can take any water source and remove any contaminant from the water with the sports bottle. It holds about 22 ounces of water. You just fill it up and you squeeze the bottle, and the water will go through this remarkable filter and it removes a whole range of contaminants. So you not only have something at home to use for cooking, rinsing, and all your consumption, but you have now a filter bottle that you can take on the go.
That's what I love about this offer. It's Gary Noel's all-in-one ultra water filter. Again, it normally retails for $279 by itself, but if you call today, you're going to get for $199. Not only are you going to get Gary Noel's all-in-one ultra water filter with free shipping, but you're also going to get this very special add-on, the water filter sports bottle. The number to call is 877-627-5065. That number again is 877-627-5065. Dr. Spicer, before we wrap this up, can you just tell our listeners as many of the known toxins that this water filter removes from their water?
Well, in addition to the chloramine, lead, and fluoride, it'll remove parasites like Cryptosporidium, 99.99%, bacteria, 99.99%, chlorine, 99%, and lead, 99%. Plus, you have a cleanable filter, which is pretty unique. So if dirt collects on the surface, you can clean it off and restore the flow rate. That's another unique feature of the filter. And it doesn't regrow bacteria that are trapped in the filter. Other filters do regrow bacteria. So you have a biostatic filter, cleanable, and it takes out more contaminants than any other filter on the market.
Once again, folks, it's Gary Noel's all-in-one ultra water filter, normally retailing for $279. You're getting it today for $199, and that includes free shipping. These will go right out to you, and you're also going to get, for no additional charge, the sports water bottle, and the number to call is 877-627-5065. 877-627-5065. Dr. Roy Spicer, I want to thank you so much for all the work that you do and for helping keep this country a little bit healthier just from the incredible information that you're providing us today. Thank you.
You're very welcome, Christine.
And now back to regular programming.